Hello and welcome to another video on high altitude investing. My name is Dallin Anderson and today we are going to be talking about Bitcoin on the 3-hour as well as Bitcoin on the bigger time frames and looking at some stock market fractals because there is one scenario where the stock market continues going up, and I want to talk about this scenario because honestly I do hope that I'm wrong with a bigger correction coming in the stock market, just because that would actually negatively affect a lot of people's lives. And so we're going to be looking at different potentials and scenarios, but mainly going over how Bitcoin could easily recover off of these lows and how the stock market may be coming back with more strength. Make sure that you guys hit that like button for me right now, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel because I am dedicated to uploading 5 videos a week all through 2020. Make sure that you guys are subscribed so you're getting this awesome content. I am at 25,000 subscribers and I have a personal goal of reaching 100,000. So let's see if we can do that as a community. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in today's video, and we'll get straight into the Bitcoin analysis. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the 3-hour time frame, and as you can see, I have a triangle drawn right here. This is a very important triangle. It can go either direction. Technically, we are in a downtrend, but this is a symmetrical triangle, so it's an evenly distributed market. There's an even amount of buyers and sellers in the specific range, so we really need to wait for a breakout to confirm what direction the market's going. As far as this goes, I do think that this will go up, and I'm going to show you a fractal right here, and one of the reasons why I do think it will go up. This is Bitcoin right here, and this is Bitcoin SV actually inverted. And you can see in this area right here, and then this huge dip down and recovery process, this is the same thing that Bitcoin actually did right here. This huge rally up and then this dip down and recovery process. And so I think that Bitcoin will see a very similar fractal or move that Bitcoin SV and inverted Bitcoin SV chart actually did. And that is one of the reasons that I think Bitcoin will go ahead and break bullish out of this symmetrical triangle. It's also at the very bottom of this bigger triangle on the 8 days. So this is a big time frame. And you can see that the C wave, we're very nearing the lows of this triangle, and that gives me confidence that we're much more likely to see upside out of this. Now, of course, if this triangle on the smaller time frames breaks low, then this will probably go in for one more local low. But I just wanted to update you guys on the 3-hour time frame because that is what Bitcoin is looking like currently. I made a video yesterday actually talking about why I purchased Bitcoin and Tezos, and that was actually yesterday and the day before. But either way, you guys, I am in on Bitcoin right now. I bought more of it and I bought more Tezos as well so that I can make some money off of these lows along with you guys. This is going to be a very, very big swing in the market, I personally believe. And I think that this will really just be caused because of this huge volume spike and minor capitulation. What does minor capitulation mean? Minor capitulation means that the miners stopped mining because they no longer think it's profitable to do so. And usually when Bitcoin has minor capitulation, when people start talking about the minor capitulation narrative, it usually starts going up very nicely after that. The last time that really occurred was in 2015. People were talking about minor capitulation. I think that we're seeing a very similar scenario play out where the miners are capitulating now, when really if you're a long-term miner in Bitcoin, this is probably the best time to mine because of the low difficulty. So right when most people get out of the market is usually the most psychological pain, and that shows that there's very, very high potentials for reversals. So now let's talk about the stock market and how that can affect Bitcoin. As you guys know, I have posted charts of the stock market and the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ doing upwards of a 50% correction, and then even possible of an 80% correction. There is one other scenario that I want to talk about that honestly I do hope that I'm wrong with those other scenarios with the stock market, because if this this scenario specifically happens, then we'll see a larger bull run in the US economy and in the world economies as well. This is the previous NASDAQ cycle, and we're just going to go ahead and pull this over. And we're going to look at the larger time frame cycles with the NASDAQ and talk about why the Dow Jones could actually be in a larger bull run here. So this is the NASDAQ composite in its last cycle. And as you can see, along the way up, there was some pretty large corrections. And then we saw this huge leg up after those corrections, and then it saw another correction before it continued on the upside. Now with the Dow Jones, this correction is a lot bigger than the little corrections that we saw right here, but it still could recover. It's not very likely, but it very well could still. So we really just have to see how we do as we get up closer to these major resistance levels and whether we can pick up enough momentum to get above them. If this does happen with the Dow Jones, this will carry the rest of the stock market, and a lot of other stocks will continue going up, and this will just be a big giant panic and shakeout before the real bull run and then the real correction that will be very, very large and very scary. And so I wanted to bring this up because this would overall, with Bitcoin, for me personally, I think in an economic collapse, Bitcoin would effectively work as a safe haven. But in economic times where the economy is going up and things are good, I do think that Bitcoin can also thrive in those times. And the reason that I don't like to worry too much about the correlation specifically is because they're cross-correlated in some places and correlated in other places, meaning that it's unreliable, determining when it's correlated and when it's cross-correlated. But overall, Bitcoin can perform well in times of economic growth. And I think that with the stock market in general, it would be nice for us to continue rising right now. If things do get crazy, if everything drops, that's going to be really, really bad for a lot of people. That's going to negatively affect a lot of people's lives. There's going to be a lot of people that maybe don't have enough food, especially towards the bottom, people that don't have money for their vehicles, no form of transportation, and a lot of scarcity and fear. And so personally, I would rather have it keep going up, even though it really does just mean that the bear market and the correction and the large drop will come still. It just takes longer. So it's just extended out further. And then we see a bigger correction. And for me, if that happens, then we can make a lot of money off the Bitcoin markets, maybe make some money off like undervalued cannabis stocks and stuff like that, off of a larger economic cycle on the upside. And then we can still play a bigger bear market and buy the dip later in our lives. But for me, I just wanted to bring that up for you guys and bring it into your awareness, just because when it comes to the US stock market and the US economy, it is very, very strong and has been in an uptrend for a long time. So the large picture and the big picture is in a large degree uptrend. It does do 50 and sometimes 70 or 80% corrections along the way up. And it depends on what chart you're looking at, whether it's the NASDAQ or whether it's the Dow Jones. And determining exactly which one of those is going to be a 50% correction or going to be a 70% correction is honestly quite difficult. So for me, when I play the stock market and when I think about playing it, I look to buy dips and specifically very large corrections like the 50 or 70% corrections. And that's just how I personally want to play it, because I want to get in when things are really cheap. But overall, we don't know exactly which one is going to be that 50 or 70% correction. And so because of that, this could easily correct up on the upside and recover and continue seeing growth. And I wanted to make you guys aware of that potential scenario. Overall, I'm still playing the bigger picture triangle in Bitcoin, still watching this 3-hour triangle like I pointed out at the beginning of the video. So make sure that you guys are aware of the 3-hour Bitcoin triangle, and also every single time that a trend line has failed, this has actually shown bottoms for Bitcoin. So I'm very bullish currently. I think that this is an interesting time. We could go in for large economic growth, or we could go in for a bigger correction, kind of like what we saw right here. And I just want to make you guys aware of all the different potential outcomes so that you make plans for both scenarios, and you and your family and you and your friends are all safe during these times. And either way, we're going to make money off this. We'll figure out if the stock market starts trending back up like this and recovers, we're going to know that it's time to go long for a larger leg up in the markets. If we start dropping further, later we're going to have a buying opportunity. And so look at this in terms of opportunity, look at the different potentials, be open-minded to all of the different ones. And yes, I think that it's time to be watching for either 50 to 70% drop or a large bull market. So this is a very, very important time for the US stock market. Let's see how prices recover over the next little while. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Again, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button for me, as well as the like button, and I look forward to seeing you guys in tomorrow's update. As always, stay profitable out there.